The Indiana Fever's 2025 season was already a pressure cooker, with the spotlight glaring on rookie sensation Caitlin Clark and a revamped roster hungry to prove itself. But on a crisp July evening at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, the narrative took a sharp turn, one that left fans buzzing and social media ablaze. Sophie Cunningham, the Fever's fiery guard and self-proclaimed enforcer, had just torched the Connecticut Sun for 5 three-pointers in a career-defining performance, only to find herself benched in the final minutes of a blowout win. The move by coach Stephanie White sparked a firestorm of questions. Why pull a player at the peak of her game? Was it strategy, a clash of egos, or something deeper? Cunningham, a 7-year WNBA veteran who joined the Fever in a blockbuster 4-team trade in January 2025, had been carving out a unique role. Traded from the Phoenix Mercury, where she'd been a starter, she transitioned to a spark plug off the bench in Indiana, averaging 6.5 points and 4.1 rebounds in 22.8 minutes per game. Her gritty style, part sharpshooter, part provocateur, made her a fan favorite and a lightning rod for controversy. Earlier in the season, she'd gone viral for shoving Connecticut's J.C. Sheldon to the floor in retaliation for a foul on Clark, earning an ejection and a petition to ban her from the WNBA for aggressive actions. Yet, Las Vegas Aces coach Becky Hammon praised her, calling her loyalty to teammates the kind of edge every team needs. That edge was on full display against the Sun, where Cunningham's 15 points, including 5 perfect threes, had the crowd roaring and the Fever cruising to an 85-77 victory. The game started with Indiana leaning on Clark's playmaking and Aaliyah Boston's dominance in the paint. But Cunningham, coming off the bench, shifted the momentum. Her first three came early in the second quarter, a deep shot over Marina Mabrey that swished clean. The second followed a steal, with Cunningham pulling up in transition, her feet barely set. By the third quarter, she was in a rhythm, hitting 2 more from the corner, each one drawing louder cheers. Her fifth, a contested dagger late in the fourth, pushed the lead to 17. She pumped her fist, jawing with the Sun bench, her leopard print pregame outfit still fresh in fans' minds from social media. But with 3:42 left, White pulled her. Cunningham walked to the bench, her expression a mix of confusion and defiance, as the crowd murmured. The Sun never closed the gap, but the decision hung heavy. White's post-game comments were measured but vague. She praised Cunningham's spark, saying she changed the game's tempo, but deflected questions about the benching, citing rotational strategy and the need to manage minutes. Fans weren't buying it. On X, posts exploded, some calling it a snub to a player hitting her stride, others speculating about tension in the locker room. One user wrote, "Sophie's out here raining threes and White benches her? Make it make sense." Another pointed to Cunningham's history of outspokenness, like her June 2025 comments questioning the WNBA's expansion to Cleveland and Detroit, which drew clapbacks from both cities' social media accounts. Had her candor rubbed White the wrong way? Theories swirled. Some pointed to Cunningham's role as the Fever's enforcer. Her ejection against the Sun earlier in the season stemmed from defending Clark, who'd been shoved by Mabrey and raked across the face by Sheldon. Cunningham had called out the refs post-game, accusing them of not protecting the star player of the WNBA. White, while critical of the officiating, had also noted the need for control, saying, "When officials let things escalate, players take it into their own hands." Was White sending a message, curbing Cunningham's intensity to avoid another flare-up? The Fever's 6-6 record and Clark's absence in earlier games due to a quad strain had already strained team chemistry. Cunningham, often compared to Clark for their similar builds during training camp, was a vocal leader, but her antics, like her viral scuffle or her denial of affair rumors with Phoenix Suns CEO Josh Bartelstein, kept her in the headlines. Others saw it as tactical. Cunningham's 26 minutes were above her season average, and White might have been preserving her for a tough stretch ahead, including a matchup with the Las Vegas Aces. The Fever's bench was deep, with Lexi Hull and Katie Lou Samuelson ready to step in. Hull, who'd lost her starting spot to Cunningham in July, had been efficient, and White might have wanted to test her in a low-stakes moment. Yet, Cunningham's 4-6 shooting and 3 steals made her the second unit's engine. Benching her felt like pulling a spark plug from a revving motor. Her career-high 19 points against Indiana in 2019 when she went 3-3 from deep showed her potential to carry games. Why halt that momentum? The locker room offered clues but no answers. Clark, who dropped 32 points against the Liberty earlier in the season, praised Cunningham's energy, saying, "Sophie brings the fire we need." Boston, a quieter leader, sidestepped the issue, focusing on the win. Cunningham herself was blunt but cryptic, telling reporters, "I play to win, not to sit. Ask coach." Her Instagram story later showed her in a gym, captioning it, "Keep shooting, keep fighting." Fans read it as a subtle jab, though she'd avoided direct criticism. The Fever's next practice was closed, but reports leaked of White emphasizing team discipline and sticking to the plan. Had Cunningham's freelancing, her extra jab at the Sun bench, or her aggressive closeouts crossed a line? The broader context didn't help. The Fever were under scrutiny, with Clark's historic triple-doubles drawing global attention. Cunningham's role, while secondary, was critical as a floor spacer and defender. Her 41% three-point shooting in 2024 with Phoenix had carried over, and her 88.2% free throw accuracy was among the league's best. But her reputation as a provocateur, evident in her Taekwondo black belt and high school football kicker days, made her a target. The petition to ban her, citing her malicious actions, had garnered thousands of signatures, though Hammond's defense and Clark's support quelled some backlash. White, a former Fever player herself, was navigating a delicate balance, harnessing Cunningham's edge without letting it disrupt the team's focus. By the next game against the Aces, Cunningham was back in the rotation, hitting 2 threes and grabbing 4 rebounds in 24 minutes. White downplayed the benching, calling it just one game. But the incident lingered. On X, fans debated whether White was asserting control or misreading the moment. Some pointed to Cunningham's Missouri roots and her comments about Kansas City as a better expansion city, wondering if her outspokenness made her a liability. Others saw it as White protecting a veteran from burnout in a long season. The Fever's 2-1 start, including a 93-58 rout of the Chicago Sky, showed their potential, but losses to the Atlanta Dream and Golden State Valkyries exposed vulnerabilities. Cunningham's absence in the opener due to an ankle injury had already tested the team's depth. In the end, the benching was likely a mix of strategy and message sending. White needed to manage egos on a team with Clark's stardom and Boston's quiet leadership, while Cunningham's intensity, vital as it was, could tip into chaos. Her 5 threes were a career highlight, but her tendency to push boundaries on the court and off might have forced White's hand. The Fever's next test would show if Cunningham could channel her fire without burning the house down. Was this a one-off or a sign of deeper tension? Share your thoughts below. Where are you watching this drama unfold?